Shalom Aleichem. We're going to begin the Sabbath Seder. The teaching will be in Matthiu's 5:16. Okay. We have went through 14, 15, and we're on 16, the conclusion of Yeshua identifying us as light bearers. This is our purpose. But the thing that we miss in the English as well as in the Greek translation of the book of Matthiu was the word that he began the teaching with, meor. Meor. This is not included. Me. In the translation, which means from lighting, atam, or atim in the plural, you. Okay. From lighting you, this is what he said. Me order atam be olam, from lighting you in the world. Okay. Meaning that the light he's talking about is not the light of our own intelligence. In the Tanakh it says that the neshama of Ha'adam is the candle, the menorah of Yahweh. Okay. Meaning that you are the candle. This candle don't light itself. Something outside of itself must light it for it to have light. This is what Yeshua is showing. From lighting you. Okay? You take that down. Don't want to get confused. Just want to throw that up as an introduction. From lighting you. So we understand that the light that Yeshua is talking about is not a light of ourself. Light relates to intelligence. Intelligence that relates to the four lobes of reception that we have, okay, that is signified in the Tanakh in a way that is highly metaphorical, and we may be able to break some of that down today. But today, we want to understand that the word shetar, Shitar means to hide, to conceal, to exclusify. Okay? He said that me order be olam be nuya el rachar lo tokol li ha-shetar. That the light is not to be hidden or to be exclusified. Okay, you know how we do. We receive some level of knowledge and we say, this is ours. White folks can't have it. Red folks can't have it. Nobody can have it. Y'all just gave it to us. This is not the attitude that we receive divine revelation from the Creator. Yeshua said that the light should be set on our har. They translate that hill, but our har means mountain. This relates metaphorically to when you set something on a mountain, that it has greater clarity of the things around it. So he says that this light gives you greater clarity. It elevates you to a level of greater clarity. And you are not to hashatar. You are not to hide it, exclusify it as your own. You see, Israel was called to be a light-bearing nation. But what happened was they began to believe that it was given to them, for them, and only them, and everybody else was savages. Spiritually so. Okay? Don't go into a goyim house. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't do that. Not understanding the spiritual implications of the Torah. that is talking about something deeper than just walking inside somebody's house. Walking inside somebody's house cannot make you unholy. What makes you unholy is sin, unrighteousness, hatred. These are the things that make you unholy. Okay? So we want to understand that the Lashon HaNabim, the language of the prophets, was a spiritual system built on high metaphors. And this is what Paul, everybody say, well, Paul said abolish the commandment. No, he didn't. That's what they said he said. What the Shakalim Paul taught was that salvation, that is the ontological transformation, does not take place through rituals of the law. It takes place through neither circumcision nor uncircumcision matter, but the keeping of the commandments by the power of the Spirit. So now we get here where he says that not does Yahweh combust the light to establish a sign. So he established this light so that you can be a sign, a signification of something. Okay. In the place, ne setar, they conceal. Shall not you shine it? Shall not you shine it? He didn't establish this light for you to conceal it. Okay? Yeah. But he said, Shelo, te'ir. Shall not you shine it? Te'or. Okay? All right? But, from which days, Meshe Yamim Otul El Ha Menorah Li Ha'ir Lekol Bini Habeet. But from these days, okay, the menorah that is of the city shall be shined to every son of the house. Okay. Okay. The son of the house. They said those in the English. They left out beneath. And they translated to everyone of the house. That's not what it said. It said to the sons of the house. The sons are those who are in reception of divine light. And when you get down to the deeper understanding of these metaphors, you understand that the house represents something a little more than just a structure. Okay? I'm trying to keep it practical, and then we're going to elevate a little bit today. Okay? But the teaching now that we're dealing with is the conclusion of us being light bearers. Okay? And then we're going to go through some of better sheet to understand the animadvertence of light. Okay? It's a king also, yo mi or rekim le penai kol adam li ha reot team me ashekim ha tobim ha mishubaot ha ave awe mi kavodot le abikim shabashamahim. Okay? Now look at what it said. Also, he illustrates. Illustrates means actualize. When you illustrate something, you actualize an ideal that's in your head outside of you. They say, draw an illustration of what you're saying. What do? You get a board, you draw it. That means you actualize it so that others can see what's inside you cognitively. Okay? So it says that Yahweh actualizes from what? Me ora, from lighting him, you. Not from you lighting yourself. And this is where people get lost at. And this is why I always say that even in my time in Christianity, in my time in different assemblies, the one thing we lack as a culture is prayer. Tefillah. Because that's where you get your enlightening, not just over dinner prayer. I'm talking about worshipful prayer and intercession through which there is a sense of self-denial. Not my will, but your will be done, where you get that lightning, where there's a combustion. Yidlik, a combustion of intelligence, wisdom, and knowledge. And I always say, even though people disagree with me, that we should be par excellence in knowledge, wisdom, and understanding in the scientifics of life. Par excellence. My son will. Okay. Also, he illustrates, actualized from lighting you before all, Adam, mankind. Lighting you before all mankind. Why did he light you before all mankind? So they can see what you represent. They can see through you what Elohim, God, for our guests, they can see what you represent. People don't understand what you represent by what you say. See? He said you're a light bearer. And you can be a silent light bearer. Because when the next phase of this teaching shows how to execute making people see what you actually represent. And it's not by talking a lot of gibberish, theological gibberish, theological ceremonialism, ritualism, okay? But the actualizing of divine character, okay? Because light is the vessel of character, of substance. See, this is scientific. You have the sun. What generates the light? The heat. And the heat is in the light. That's how the heat gets to earth, through the vessel of the light. Okay? If you have an oven, and you cut that oven on, and there's heat, there's no light, right? There's no array. All right? It's not traveling. Okay? But if you put some light to that heat, it'll blaze throughout the whole home. Just like Yah generates light from heat. Okay? So light is the vessel that carries the heat, which produces the divine character or character. Okay? So he said, all mankind, lehareotim, which is from Ra. Okay? Not Ra with the, I want people to get mixed up. Ra. Raha. Okay, that means to see. But you can cut it short form without that because that's silent, and it'd be Ra'ah. Okay, but when you put that, the sound changes when you have attachments, prefix attachments to Re. And this takes on the oat sound here. Okay, which makes it plural. Plural, and then you have this here, which makes it to, that, see, more than one, you. Okay? So it's got a lot going on in that one word. But we're not talking about Ra with the ayin, which means evil, wicked. But it has the same sound. But it's a different letter. Instead of the alif, we have the ayin. Okay? So not, people won't get confused on that. When you have the alif, it's to see. lihareotim, okay, that see it you, okay, all mankind that see it you. See, he didn't say all mankind that hear it you, that see it you. That means the only way they can see what you are illustrating is by your actions, not by your words.
There you go. That's what I was waiting for you to say.
See, words are to teach how to perform, but words are not the performance. You get that? Words is to teach how to perform, but words are not the performance. Thus, you just by talking religion, by talking justice, but doing the opposite of it is not a great illustration of what Yahweh wants you to be, which is a bearer of his light that produces divine character. Okay? From Ash-Shekim, from you doing, from you forming. Asha, that's in the masculine form. It could be Asha in the feminine form. That's the most time we hear that word. Asha, but in this case, Yeshua use it in the masculine form. From doing, okay, Chatobim, the good deeds. Okay? Look what he said. See, in the English it said, from doing good works and you glorify your Father in heaven. Yeshua used a little bit more. He added a little bit more. By doing the good deeds, the mim shubaot, the repentings, that is the turnings, not one turning, that's in the plural. The turnings to the divine will. Okay. See, when you're doing good works that is from divine character, you not yet in the fullness, you might be a quarter moon. Then you get to a third of a moon. The light progresses to what? Fullness. Okay. So you have turning, shuba, what we translate repentance. This is saying repenting because we got the meme. Meme has a ing meaning too. It's active. Okay. That from turning, plural, feminine, and from kavodot, from glorying. Glorying means to make manifest. Okay. That character which is from the Father. Shabbat Shamiyim, which in or within heaven. Okay? So he's stating a little bit more than what we get in the English. A lot was lost in that translation. Okay? So he's saying, Kol Adam lechareotim me'ashakim chatobim chami shubaot ve or we mi kavodot. From glorying, li, towards, directed at, okay, your Father which is in heaven. See, that li means to be face to face with something. Face to face, having that contact of relationship. We're doing good deeds that are produced from a competent relationship with the Father, with the Creator. Okay? For the purpose of li, also reception. Okay? So these are the turnings. Unto what? The fullness of Elohim. Until that character is fully assimilated. Ontologically, intellectually, morally, rationally, and empirically in our minds. That's why the mind in the in Jeremiah is called the Karim, inner parts. How many lobes of the brain do you have? You got 4. And the rivers flow into how many lands? 4. So the flowing of the river into Cush, into Assyria, okay, into Euphrates, okay, which is the empirical functioning, which has no land, because land, Adamah, represents good quality. The empirical has no good quality. It has to be subjugated and ruled over and brought into the perception of true empirical science. Okay? We're going to get there. All right? So we have to understand that we are light bearers, and that this light progressively, through our good deeds, through our turning, through our glorying or revealing of the true nature of the Father, okay, is what progresses that light in us to fullness. Pelera in the Greek. Fullness, a full capacity of being in divine character. Okay? So this is what the first chapter of Genesis is about. First chapter of Genesis is not about the creation of the empirical universe. Okay? The sequence is all off. Okay? So he said, Bereshit bara Elohim et shamahim va'et aritz. Ve'aritz hayitol tohu vabohu. Ve'al koshek. Ve'koshek al pene tohum. And darkness was on the face of the deep, and the earth was tohu, void, vebohu, and empty. And darkness was on the face of the deep. What's your deep? Darkness was on the face of what deep? The deep of the sea? It's still on there. You go down to the bottom of the ocean, it's dark. That darkness was never removed. So he has to be talking about a darkness that can be removed. No, the tohum, brother, represents the ontological vessel of human nature. See, the thing that people don't understand, and when they run around talking about we are gods and we are goddesses and this, and that can be true, potentially so. Not using the word God, because that has no meaning. So we go back to the word Elohim. We go back to the word Elah, the feminine word for God, with the kamat he ending. Okay? But we must understand what Elohim actually mean and represent. It represents the tabernacle form, a form of order through which the light can have advertence journey through man to produce full divine quality. Then you become Elohim. But Elohim is also a designation of species. See, when it says that you are Elohim, it means that you have been changed from a human carbon-based species to a divine celestial-based species. Okay. So it says that there was a manifestation of heaven, a divine order within man that was purely spiritual, and a manifestation of earth which raised to the vessel form. And in the vessel form there was tohu vabohu. That means there was no quality of good and no quality of truth related to good that is purely of divine nature. And darkness was on the face of the deep. Okay? See, your face is not here. Your face is here. The surface of your existence. What is the face of a tree? Is it the leaves? No. The face of the tree is the roots. You understand what I'm saying? Everything that comes out is a manifestation of its character, the character of the roots. Okay? Y'all got all this? Can you give me a renacum? I can erase this. Okay, so let me show you, because I want you to see the animadvertence of light that is taught so that we can understand how to receive the light and become a light bearer and do good works instead of gossip and slander and negating each other. Okay? How do we become light bearers? Right. Continuously. That was employed. That with that. Yeah. You see, it's progressive. So you have the tree. Branches. Yeah. Okay. Right here. It's the surface. What we call the peni. The face. And right here is what? The tohum. The deep, where the roots are. That's why Yahweh said to Moses, look, he said, show me your glory, Yahweh. He said, no man can see my face. Then they can see his form, which is called the Elohim. But no man can see Ehyeh, his actual substantial being. You see what I'm saying? They said no man has seen him. No, they haven't. They haven't seen his, what is beneath the face, that goes beyond human perception. He manifests. That's why I said Bereshit bara Elohim. From the beginning, the source of existence manifested the Elohim, which is the tree of life.
So we see the manifestations
of Yahweh. Right.
In the many
Forms.
around us, which is one another when we are
Right.
doing good deeds, when we're actually following the Torah.
Right.
And we see it in the trees, the birds,
Right.
all the other creations that he made.
Right. Because all these things are corresponding forms to something spiritual in you. Okay. And when you see, right, because of our rebellion and arrogance. Exactly.
Because we've been given that.
Right.
So, quote unquote, free will.
No, it's no such thing as free will. But that's another story. That's the biggest lie that was given to us, that we have free will. Yeshua said it. Let me just comment on that. Get that out the way. Let me just comment on that. Then let me finish this. Yeshua said, he that sinneth is a slave of sin. If you a slave of sin, how you got free will?
Well, it don't sound.
But the Son sets you free. That means you got to put yourself in a position where you can be set free. If you had free will, then there would be no need for you to have to be in a position where you have to be set free.
Come on, logic.
Come on. Okay. But now we have the manifestation, and from this came what? Shamayim. Shamayim, the heavens, and the let me do it in Hebrew, and the Aretz, earth. Okay. A form of order that progresses from the internal to the out. Okay. So now the darkness is full of the face that covers the nature of man, called the tohum, the deep. Okay. There's a surface of darkness over the root of our existence. Okay. So Yah says, okay, I got to do something here. My creation ain't finished. So he said, and the Ruach of Elohim, Merachafat, moved. Let's get a more emphatic meaning here. Breathe into. You breathe into the soil, or you pour air, what happens? The soil begins, and you make a path to the nature. You understand? Breathe into, moved into the faces of the waters. That deep. You moved it out. You got water. And that breathing comes in. What it do? It creates a path. Into what? To Tohum. Once that is touched, and man, the mind connected to the heart, that path is made. It creates what? An enlightenment. Or an awareness. So now Yah says, okay, now I can light the candle. Ehe order. Let there be light. And there was light. And the light did what? To man's clarity. It brought him out of darkness. Because that's all he could see at first. Why? Because the light of darkness can't make you see or give you clarity. So so what was created from that action was day related to truth, and night related to related to error. Okay? See, you are in error when you think your carbon-based genetic structure produces divine enlightenment. When you think your physical, electrical, biochemical makeup produces anything divine. So there's a clarity between day and night. Oh, okay, this here doesn't produce the night or the intelligence within the darkness, kosher. Doesn't produce true optical perception of what life really is and what I'm to be connected to. See, I'm walking around like a beast with a bunch of religious cliches, okay, but I am not teshuba, turning towards the source, the better sheep, that can breathe into and create a path through the mind, intellectual understanding, appropriation, that creates a path for that divine light to begin working within my heart for the purpose of purification and the reestablishment of divine nature that then produces divine character. This is what Yeshua was referring to. Murakafat, him breathing, trying to breathe. Y'all keep pushing it back. He breathe, you breathe. Instead of saying, oh, okay, I see, let me turn. Let me turn. You feel the wind blowing on you this way, and you just turn away from it. No, turn to the wind. Right. Right, reception, divine reception, which comes to good works. Okay. Because it's like a machine. If you want to, you can have, Nadine, you're a cook. If you sit a cucumber there and you said, Imuna, okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. and you sit a cucumber and a knife beside each other and walk away, is the cucumber going to get peeled? So if you're not acting on what you believe, the surface that covers the nature will never, a path of reception will never be created for you to be lit You understand what I'm saying? See, it's not about going to church every week or calling yourself Hebrew. It's not. It's about obedience to the truth. It says that our hearts are purified through the obedience of the truth. Now, you can abstain from pork. You should. You should abstain from all these filthy animals. You can obey the law according to the carbon-based understanding of the law. Okay? But if you don't keep the commandments for the purpose of fulfilling righteousness and moral enlightenment, all the things you do on a ritualistic dietary level is void. All the commandments of the 10 words, if they are not actively being fulfilled in your life, and you obey all the other commandments, because the 10 words is the light that put light in the actions that you do. So you might wear zim-zims, and you might light candles, and you can say a beautiful Hebrew prayer, but if you're still living in fornication, adultery, homosexuality, lying, slander, and murdering people, exploiting people, debilitating people through your thievery, covetousness, and envy of the riches of the wicked, all you do in rituals means nothing. It does not open up the path for reception of the light. It has to be all conjoined. The keeping of the commandments, tzedakah, the execution of righteousness. This is what Yeshua taught. He said, y'all teach tithing of mint and rue. You teach this and that, but you have forgotten the weightier matters of the law. Mercy, justice. So because you have forgotten the weightier matter, you have made the word null and void. It has no effect within you. This is the importance of understanding the teachings of Yeshua. Whether you believe he was merely a prophet, that's fine. Whether you believe he was the word manifested in the flesh, that's fine. But if you believe he was a prophet, you should still keep his teachings. If you believe he was the word manifested in the flesh, keep his teaching. You can believe all that. If you don't keep his teachings, what difference does it make who he was? Yeshua. In the Hebrew, it's spelled like this. It's spelled like that. That's the Aramaic. Okay. In the Hebrew pronunciation, it would be Yahushua. Okay. But back then, they called him Yeshua. That's the Aramaic.
Can you put that in like English spelling?
Joshua. Yeah, not Jesus. Jesus don't even come into play. What? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, okay, that's what you was asking me. Okay. Yeshua. You know. Okay. Yeah, we got unplugged. Sorry about that, y'all. So, we want to understand when Yeshua say mi'or, from lighting, mi'or atam olam, from lighting you in the world, that you must understand fully that you don't light yourself. You seek enlightenment. You bow your knees to your Creator. You petition your Creator for that enlightenment said your creator, not your teacher, not your moray. He teaches you. And hopefully he's teaching you properly. But if he's teaching you that he is your enlightenment, you got a false teacher. No, the true teacher is going to teach you to shakut, to bow, and to seek. Get the door. Somebody at the door. To seek enlightenment. Me'oratim ha'olam. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. This is the purpose. Okay? This is the purpose for us getting together on Sabbath. Now, we didn't do the prayer today because everyone isn't educated in the way that we pray, and we don't want to traumatize people. Okay? But I don't like going to any service where there is not first a seeking of reception. Shakut, bow down. Tefillah, pray. Petition for that light. Petition for that breath to breathe within your waters and open up a path of entry so that he can enlighten you. You understand what I'm saying? And this is what Yeshua is teaching us. This is what the Torah is teaching us. I hope to be able one day. I did it before and it was a mistake. I did it in Milwaukee. I began to teach some of the higher teachings. And they rebelled and got egoistic and, oh boy, everything falls apart. They got just a little bit of divine revelation and just went knip. And so that's why I'm staying practical. Okay? And then when we build where we get consistently faithful students who have heard the whole message on a practical level, then we're going to take it up. Okay? To a level where we can really be light bearers. Where we can really see this thing apart from the carbon-based intelligence and antagonism. Because we're producing a lot of words, but we're producing no character. People tell me, well, you teach race stuff. I don't teach race stuff. I live in a condition where racism is. And that racism has been for 400 years directed at me. And that racism, the root of it is hate. And he that hated is of the devil. That's what the word said. Now, when I tell you that white supremacist culture is a system of hatred, and he that hatred has not eternal life, you tell me I'm a racist. This is what the word says that you say you believe in. I'm just bold enough to teach it. White supremacy, black supremacy, or any race supremacy is a system of hatred. And wherever we find that system, it must be destroyed. Now that's what I believe. Because that's what the word teaches me. And that's what our ancestor Kwame Nkrumah taught. He was a Christian. And he taught it. He was the father of nationalism, African nationalism in Africa. And he said, we fight not against race, creed, or color, but against a system that degrades and exploits humanity. And wherever we find that system must be destroyed. Does that mean he was racist because he believed in a political concept that says Africans must govern Africans, instead of the supremacist concept that says Africans are an inferior breed of human beings that cannot govern themselves? So, African nationalism was birthed on the basis of fighting this false concept. And it worked in Africa I believe it can work in America if we smart enough not to get tricked into believing that what we believe is evil in order to liberate ourselves morally, spiritually, politically, and economically, and love one another, unlike we're doing today. So if I'm the devil, simply because I say that white supremacy is an evil system of hatred, it is not of El. Their religion that is born from this ideology is not of El. Cool. I'll take that. I'll take all of it. But I'm going to stand on what the Torah and the testimony of Yeshua teaches. And I'll show you as we go along that Yeshua pinpointed the doctrine of supremacy in the Hebrew gospel. Pinpointed it. As we go on, we'll get to it, not far from here. And I'm going to stand on it. And when I read that, I said, woo, and I broke those words and exegeted the word. I said, whoa, that really stands against any form of supremacy, even spiritually. I'm a Christian. I'm better. Muslims are devils. Muslims pray more than Christians ever pray. Christians might pray once a month, but your religion is so better. You don't even approach Yahweh. You go and pick up a book by Dr. Larry Chicken Wing, read it, bunch of cliche. Don't ever approach Yahweh. Muslims, every Muslim I know that is a faithful Muslim, he prays, he calls, Ilah, Ilah, Ilah. You know, he's doing his prayer. He's faithful to that prayer. So I got more respect for Islam than I do for any religion because they pray. Don't talk to me about how the Muslims are moon god and all that foolish conspiracy theories. Just you who call yourself Hebrew, just look at yourself. Don't look at them. Look at yourself. How many times you bow your knees to Yahweh each day? So while you condemning them, their prayers every day, whether it's a true God or a false God, they pray to it more than you pray to the one you call a true God. So I admire their faithfulness. I salute, and they've taught me prayer. All the morning, boy, you got to pray. You got to pray. Tefillah, come on, pray with us. I'll be like, man, I'm Hebrew. I don't care. Come pray with us. They taught me, so me and my wife, we have a culture of prayer in our home. We have family prayer. We're going to make sure we get some prayer in every day. Bow our knees to the Creator. Lift our hands to the Creator. Give praise and worship to our Creator. And then get up and do the good deeds of righteousness so that we can shine the light. If you can't see that light, that's because your mind is in darkness. Hallelujah. But anyone who knows my family, we practice Zadaka. Ain't nobody coming in our house hungry, or we gonna know they hungry and they gonna stay hungry. Okay? So we have to stop judging by these slick, niggardly words and start judging by, am I performing chatobim? Hatobim, good works, good deeds towards my fellow man. Am I performing shubayim, turning, a continuous turning from kata, sin, hatred, or do I support it? See, you got to look at your own works. You got to look at your own ways. And stop pointing your fingers at everybody else, thinking that you exclusively got some light just because you got some information. Information with no hatobim. Information with no hashubah. Come on. Let us wake up. Let us wake up. All right? Okay. Everybody on the computer, I'm cutting off. We're going to do an answer and question session. And y'all can't be involved. Sorry. So, Shalom Aleichem. I hope y'all enjoyed this study. We're having a real good Sabbath. I give praise to Yahweh. You'll be getting the study right away after the closing. Shalom Aleichem.